Every action you take is part of a chain reaction. It's either pulling you closer to the life you want or dragging you further away. In this video, I'm gonna give you 4 ideas to build momentum, break old patterns, and create that consistency that's gonna change everything. Might just grind. Let's get after it. All right, it's currently 8:37. Gym closes at 11, so I've got a little bit of time to think. Just wanted to share a few ideas with you before I go hit the lift. So I'm just gonna get right into it. I have like only 4 concepts for you today, but I think they're gonna serve you. I've been seeing a lot of content about like NoFap, seeing a lot of content about people struggling to stay consistent. It seems like a common theme for everybody right now. Like we're all trying to be on the winter arc, but we're also like fatigued and we're tired and there's less sunlight and it's like hard to stay motivated and it's easy to fall off and then backslide and feel like crap. And that's just like very relevant for me right now, given the last like 7 days. Like I'm riding momentum right now and I feel great right now, but like rewind 72 hours, I felt like trash. The 72-hour cycle of energy is something we need to talk about because it influences everything you're doing, and that's the first concept here. But I just slightly rephrased my thought about it today, and it's called this. No more semantics. Here's the idea. The chain reaction of growth is kind of everything. It's you do this so that. You do this input, so that output. You do this action, so that kind of outcome. And as you do an action, you unlock more and more levels. It's like you unlock more leverage per action because every action you do after that first action generates even more momentum because it's stacked on top of the other one. So like that's just basic compounding, like you know compounding, but the thing is that every action you stack consistently unlocks more inertia. The first one unlocks like a lot and it's really hard to pull that lever because you're going from 0 to like 1. But then going from like 1 to 2 is a little bit easier. Going from 2 to 3, you're starting to get some confidence. And that what you're doing is you're breaking the old chain and you're building a new chain towards the life you want. Not a chain, the difference. And so I think a large part of growth that not enough people are really thinking about or talking about or maybe experiencing enough is the compounding effects of momentum and how much that lifts off of your mental plate when you have momentum in your favor. This explains the critical importance of consistency and why consistency is like pretty much everything. And I think that's why like so many successful athletes and like just top elite people in life are like, you know, just consistency and hard work and excellence. And you're like, sounds really boring. And like, I think it sounds less boring than it actually is. I believe the experience is actually kind of romantic because as you become consistent, as you show up consistently, you fundamentally shift and change and things start to just flow at a higher level. There's less friction to every action because that action is riding off of the momentum of yesterday's wins, of last hour's wins. And this applies at like every single scale, whether it's like the year or the day. And this kind of explains my year, is like every 3 months I would screw myself over and grab a new distraction. So like the first 3 months of 2024, I was like distracted by like substances and like nicotine and THC like early in 2024 from like January to March. And then like March comes along and I meet this girl and now I'm distracted with a girl from like March to like April to May. And then in June, you know, that girl dumps me and then I meet another girl because I'm trying to get over that girl. And so then I'm using that and money and partying maybe to like forget about her. And so now I'm chasing that experience. And then that ends and I'm like, frick, what am I doing with my life? It's like the middle of the year. Shoot, I need to make money. I'm broke. What was I doing with all my time? I put myself in debt. Now I need to grind to make up for that. And now I'm riding against momentum. Like I'm riding against the momentum of my own poor decisions, because every 3 months I panic and I freak out and I do something that's like completely screws me over. I think that's just a lack of trusting God, to be completely honest with you. But that's what I'm talking about, that compounding effect. And then this is like just my year, I'm just being honest with you. After that, it went from like, oh, now I need to get out of debt, to like putting myself back in debt again. I put myself like in $8,000 of debt total, if not more, this year. Worst financial decisions of my life this year, and it just hurts to think about it, but it happened, and it is what it is now. And I'm not in debt anymore, but like, it sucks. And that second one was like, oh, I applied to schools, and now I'm panicking because I'm going to school, so I need to go do something else to immediately get myself out of this, because I need to make 10K in the next 30 days, or else I can't move out and I can't go to New York City. And I can't. And I'm just freaking out. I'm panicking about the choice that I made last month. And I'm just constantly going, like flip-flopping, being double-minded about my life. And for me, it doesn't feel like double-minded. It feels like infinite versions of myself reacting at different times. And so I feel like very sheepish and like awkward, like going through my photos this year, because I just see so many versions of myself. And that's like good and bad, right? It's good because it's like, okay, I've distanced myself from that version of myself enough to like cringe at him. I think that's a good thing. I think if you're not cringing at yourself 6 months ago, you maybe didn't put enough distance, or maybe you just love yourself and you have a great relationship with yourself, and you just have amazing self-esteem, and you don't have a problem with that. Me personally, I don't have a great relationship with myself, but like it's a work in progress, right? Like, so, you know, everyone can be patient with that. Anyways, the point being, going into like August and September, I've been dealing with that compounding effects of all these terrible decisions, and then like, you know, trying to do remote sales, because I got sold into this other program to do remote sales for $4,000. Then I realized, like, frick, I don't even like this. I absolutely hate this. I don't want to be DMing people all day. This is shallow work. Like, I mentally can't do this. And it's not that I can't do hard work. I love hard work, but I hate shallow work. Like, I hate being on call all day. That drives me nuts. I love engaging with people for 8 hours straight or 12 hours straight. Dude, I can work as a server like nonstop, and I'm cool with that. And that's like a meaningful engagement to me. But just like engaging with people to sell them something so you make commission just did not appeal to me at all. And I know a lot of people make great sales and they're great people, and I have no diss or like problem with them, but just that did not align. And why did I do that? Because I panicked. I knew better in my head that I wasn't a salesman like I am. I like to talk to people and I love people, but I'm not a salesman. And I should have known that, but I made a choice that was out of alignment with my true vision, because I panicked in the moment about where I currently was, instead of extending the vision out and being like, this is where I'm right now, that's where I want to be. What am I going to do to actually align to that vision and like learn those skills and like get that stuff done? And I could have said that, oh, I need to learn sales, but like, I don't think I really had a sales problem. I think I had a consistency problem. I think I had a belief problem, and just a lack of esteem and a lack of showing up consistently. And so just like the product and the original product that I had that I was trying to sell back in like 2023 would have worked if I had just believed and showed up, but I didn't do either of those two things. So of course I didn't believe, and then I didn't show up, and that's a compounding effect of doubt, disbelief, and discouragement, and then delay, and that stuff just layers on, and it sucks. Absolutely sucks. So, that said, if you want to get a big ball running, like obviously you can tell, at least hopefully from my random life experiences that I've just shared with you from 2024, that a large aspect of growth isn't just like, it is compounding. Like everything is compounding in your favor or against the vision that you want. So you're either gradually building up or you're gradually decaying. And you're gradually breaking your life down and backsliding into old habits that you don't really want to keep, but you're like, maybe you're currently going to it because it's comfortable, because getting out of inertia is more uncomfortable in the moment than staying in inertia. But then eventually you're like, oh, I hate this, and then you have to slide back the other direction. That's kind of the same thing with like yo-yo dieting, but that's a whole nother side tangent. So look, this is what I wrote down. Growth and project. This is what I wrote down. Words. growth and progress are largely functions of momentum, and that they're exponentially increased by the momentum that you stack every day. So every day you stack on the consistency, you get a little more momentum. Even if the outcomes aren't that significant, even if you don't hit any specific special milestones that day, just you rocking the boat with that lap, with that speed, with that action, with that aggression every single day, it changes the growth equation. You have momentum in your favor every day, even if those other factors aren't perfect. Maybe you're not clear. Maybe you didn't really believe. Maybe you like just sucked. Maybe your energy was crap. There's all these other factors, right? But if you at least are consistent, you have momentum in the equation, which makes everything clearer because you're doing and you're committed, right? Consistently writing, consistently training, consistently walking, consistently sleeping, consistently creating, which is me doing this right now instead of hitting my lift, even though I really just want to lift right now. I'm forcing myself to process the ideas from the day, to sit down and have a moment to just think and focus and get into flow. I don't know what that is for you, but you need to know what that is for you, because here's the deal. When you get this consistency and this momentum, suddenly the friction to act is so low, it's almost automatic. It's almost automatic. It's not fully automatic, but it's like pretty close. Right now, this feels like flow. You're in this lifestyle flow where there's an alignment of the chain reaction from every thought, every action, every word, and it's compounding towards the life you want, and that feels good. That builds confidence, and so action becomes easier, and then you can continue to reach further with the energy of the momentum you created into the future. I think this is why like so many guys are like, I changed my life in 6 months. I think it's actually true. I think it's legitimately true. I don't think they're lying to you, and I don't think personal development is a myth. I just made a video about like how personal development's like, everything been told about personal development is a lie, and it's kind of true to an extent. They're like, a lot of it is just noise, and like, you always have to focus on living your life. But I think the big change that a lot of people have experienced is just being consistent for 6 months, actually, for maybe the first time in their life in several years, and they're like, dude, this is the world-changing thing, and it is. It will change your world. So there's a chain reaction to every thought, every action, and every word. Think about that. Momentum is compounding right now. The question is, where is your momentum compounding? And if you don't like it, kill the momentum now and shift directions. That's the first idea. And I want to study some physics laws to make that better, because I would love to get like nitty gritty, make a physics GPT that will teach us in depth how the world works. If anyone wants to make an app, I think that would be a great app. You should make it. You might make a lot of money. I'm not gonna make it, but I think it's sick. Idea number 2, kind of affecting us as well here. Desires of the body permeate the mind. Desires of the body permeate the mind. So you must protect the mind. You must guard your heart. You must defend the vision and guard the path, because it will go under attack. The higher the anointing, the higher the attack. That's just the reality. You're gonna fatigue, you're gonna get tired, and friction is gonna build against the vision you want. So you have to protect your body, protect your energy, protect your attention and focus. Because if you don't, what's gonna happen is your consistency is gonna fall apart, because like, you're not protecting the generator, this machine of who you are, to function optimally and at its best towards the things that actually matter. Which means you have to kill the things that are draining your time and energy. That's your iPhone, that's your notifications, that's social media, that's porn and drugs and alcohol, largely. I'm still debating, like, I think a lot of people are debating this right now, especially if you're like in your 20s or late teens, is like, what are the effects of these different things, and is it worth keeping in our lives? I really don't know, honestly. I don't know. Like, the science is unclear, especially on THC. Like, we don't know what the lasting effects of it are to brain development, especially in people who are under the age of 25, and people after that, like how it affects our attention span and our working memory and our long-term memory and our short-term memory, all these different things. Like, there are these different muscles that seem to get shifted, and it affects everybody differently. It's really confusing. I need to make a whole video on that. That being, you just want to be aware of like how many things are attacking your heart, mind, soul, body, energy, because like every single thing that tries to get on the path is now a new thing that you have to expend energy dodging. And that's not creating a condition for success. You want to clear the path, you want to guard the path, so that all you have to do is operate every day, not deal with distractions and feeling crappy about yourself and feeling discouraged about the fact that you backslid the other day, right? Like, that's just a waste of time. So you gotta kill that stuff. Kill the weeds. Kill the weeds, whatever those are. You know that they're robbing the resources in your garden right now, so just kill them. Okay, idea number 3 of 4. We're almost done here. Realm of possibility. So this is the realm of possibility. I actually drew a picture, so check it out. I don't know if this is gonna make any sense at all, but just check it out, okay? Okay, hopefully the camera caught that. If it didn't, sorry. Here's the deal. When everyone around you is working towards the same scale of vision, success becomes the expectation. When the scale of vision is the same around like 5 guys, now consistency and excellence are expected. Every connection to the success standard makes the standard stronger. So like the code is encrypted instead of just like out there for anyone to grab and anyone to mess with. So now it has this stronger firewall. And this is why, like, you see the Naval Academy or the Armed Forces or the Special Forces, they generally churn out high-performing, capable, dangerous individuals because they've conditioned them with an expected standard that's a lot higher. It's been reinforced by thousands of men and women over generations. Thousands of link in the chain. So, of course, like, all of those threads are gonna make the connection so impermeably strong, it's like unstoppable. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why we have like an insane military. It's just like the standard is really, really high. And obviously we're not the only military with a high standard, but like, you get the point, right? You have to check the kinds of standards that the circle around you is cementing into your life, because they are expecting a standard from you whether or not you realize it. There is a standard in your circle, and if that standard is not the standard of your vision of success, you are doing a disservice to them, and they're doing a disservice to you by you guys remaining in circle and out of alignment. So if you're remaining in association but you're not actually aligned, you're just kind of wasting each other's time. And like, a lot of people are gonna be like, but what about fun? I'm like, look, if you guys both just have fun and substance and experience, or whatever that is to you, in your vision, then that's fine. But my vision is like, if that works for you, then cool, you found alignment. But like, I know that the standard that I have in my future is a lot higher than the standard that I even hold right now. So I need to find people who uphold and work towards the same scale of vision. And when you find people like that, it's dangerous because all of a sudden there's a higher expectation. You just show up differently. This was boot camp, or like, I remember going to boot camp, and it was back in 2021, which is 4 years ago, which is really weird to think about. But at boot camp, they just expect you to be fast, and they expect you to pay attention to the details, and they expect you to do your absolute best, and they will absolutely not tolerate you being slow. Like, they will not tolerate your bed anything less than perfect. And that's just you making your bed. That's where it starts. And the beauty of that is that it just forces people to transform so quickly or be completely shredded and left behind. And it's like, you are either destroyed or you grow. You are either built up or you are broken down. And the truth is like, they are breaking you down on purpose. They're giving you that friction on purpose because it's digging deeper into your system so that you dig deeper, like, out of it. And when you dig out of it, that's when you're developing your own connective tissue to connect the dots and make stuff happen. I'm trying not to swear as much. And so when you're making those things happen, you're connecting the dots and you're paying attention to the details, and you're getting those hard things done, and you're completing it with more excellence, more consistency, and higher efficiency and effectiveness. That's what makes you a weapon. So get around friends that expect that from you. Excellence, consistency, whatever else you want. I don't know. That's just like basic vision kind of standard. So you have to plug into the standard. And this is why like a lot of people even coming out of the military, for example, they don't integrate the standard, that code into their identity. It's not embedded. They're not embodying it themselves. They're just doing it because it's expected from them. And these people are going to fall off when they leave the system because they're not expecting it from themselves. They haven't systemized it into their lives. It's not programmed into their daily life. It's not part of their identity. It's not who they are. It's just what their responsibility is right now. And so you want it to be both responsibility, expectation socially, but also internal expectation as well. When those things align, you're dangerous. Okay, last idea, and I'm getting out of here because I'm getting antsy to lift. By the way, I love doing these, so if you enjoy this, tell your friends about it, or just share it, or just hit the like button or the subscribe button if you're not staying already, because I do these a lot now, because I'm passionate about taking the ideas in here and actually putting them out instead of just writing them and then being a little hermit and saying nothing about it. So, idea number 4, the quiet eye effect, and that is not my language. I learned that from some science sport channel, but it's sick. Here's how it works. The body fatigues and wears. You know that by now. You probably feel that by now. And the process has a price to it and a payoff. Most of us are focused on that lack, that price, the noise, the doubters, the complainers, the sideline commentators, instead of playing aggressive offense where you need to be. And so that cycle makes you ask a question. What are you wrapping your brain around? Because your attention lingers. Your brain keeps processing whatever you work on, whatever you put in front of your brain, it's going to keep processing that. So let that sink in. Because however you feel right now is a result of what your brain has been processing for the last 72 hours. So, explains why I feel pretty crappy about myself when I'm consuming porn and I'm watching trash on Instagram and TikTok. Maybe it's not trash, maybe it's just car videos because I like car videos. But like, that stuff, it just becomes noise in my brain, and that's what sinks into my subconscious perception of self, and it's not a good feeling. The top performers, and this is like a real study, the top performers in sports like Steph Curry, Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't know any of the famous golf players because I don't know golf, but they lock in on the target longer, 25 to 35% longer than their good counterparts. The counterparts just a category below them, and that separates them by a lot. They lock in on the target longer. They hold the gaze. They hold their attention for 25% longer, and that significantly separates them, like in a whole different category. This obviously isn't the only thing. Like there's training. There's so much that goes into that sport. So I'm not trying to like simplify it down to that. But it is clearly a major factor in sports, and it is a major factor in basic living is your attention span. And our attention is rarely wrapped on the target. It's usually wrapped on the apparently amazing lives of everyone else, and watching all the shiny objects online, and scrolling through everybody else's life, and all of the hot models, and all of the junk in your phone. Literally conditioning you to be a passive consumer, a judger, a comparer, and a commentator. So I have a question for you. Do you want to be a sideline commentator, or do you want to be a player? Because it's your choice, and players focus on the game. They hone their skills. They seem to drop everything and double down on that one thing. And this is why I loved Kobe Bryant, because like the dude just lived and breathed that. He embodied that to the fullest, man. Like just the fullest. Like going before, going after. Like he was in there before everyone else, and he was there after everyone else. Because what he was doing is he was saying like, I'm gonna put all of my attention on this, and this is like at a different time scale. So I want you to think short-term scale of like your day and your minute and your hour and how you're performing based on where you're putting your attention, because that does affect it. But also think about the long-term scale of your week and your month and your life. And it's like where you put your attention determines what you're gonna do and what you're gonna create. So I have another question for you. What are you holding on to this year, this day, that's just dead weight, keeping you from the real goal? You've been dragging it on, and it's just been making the goal less and less clear. You've been dragging it on, and it's just been dragging you, and you're just like, damn, this sucks. I don't know what that is for you. It's probably not that you need to quit your job. I have a job because I need to pay the bills, and I want to do things, and I would like to have clothes, and I would like to have a car, and I'd like to pay for gas. Life costs money. I get that. So I'm not saying you need to quit your job. I'm saying quit the commitments that are actually just distracting you from the real thing you want. Because there's only so much you really need to do to sustain your life. There's really only so many things that are actually vital to life. And I learned that in Alaska, bro. People only have what's actually vital. If it's not gonna keep you from freezing, you probably don't need it. Like, if it's not gonna keep you from freezing or starving to death or sinking, you're probably fine. And that's like how it is out here. And I think that's amazing because it explains like the bare necessities of life, and everything else is kind of just fluff. So like, what are you doing right now? It's legitimately just like fluff in your system, fluff in your schedule that you're just like, you're doing because these people expect it from you, or because it upholds a certain kind of status about your life. But in reality, you're just dragging on something that's not even remotely aligned with what you really want. I don't know what that is for you, and I can't tell you what that is for you, but I encourage you to think about that as I wrap this up, because I think it might help you find and focus more on this concept that I was told by a performance coach a couple months back. And this is what I'm gonna close out with. It's called Ikigai. It's a Japanese term. Look up the history, or just ask ChatGPT, because it'll give you a beautiful answer, tell you all about it. It's these overlap of these 4 circles, or squares, more like circles really. And those 4 things are passion, vocation, profession, and mission. So passion, what you love. Vocation, what you can get paid for. Profession, what you're good at. And mission, what the world needs. And so when you can align those things, you have lifestyle flow, because you're making money, you're able to do it, you're able to do something you love, you're good at it, and the world actually needs it. You're meeting a real world need. And it's like, I know the world isn't always like fairy dust and perfect like that, and like our parents who raised us did not grow up in a world that talked about that kind of stuff. And so oftentimes we get dissed on for like thinking about our passions, and there's all these like hustle grind culture influencers and entrepreneurs who are like, oh, you just need to make money, and like doesn't matter what you care about, and like screw your passions, and you know, you'll find passion in the process of excellence. And I believe that passion does come from excellence. Joy and happiness in life is a byproduct mainly of excellence, honestly, and good energy. But like excellence, energy, and great people, that'll solve most of your happiness problems and just creating meaningful moments. But like there is this serious like life thing that our generation especially like has a sensitivity to, which is like doing what we actually love. And like, yeah, I know like sometimes, and this is like a serious criticism of Gen Z, is that we don't really have the work ethic, and we're not really willing to put in work, and we just want to do what we love for 4 hours a day and not really actually do anything hard. And that's kind of a, you know, maybe a problem. Like I think we should learn how to work hard. And I can't make these massive sweeping generalizations because everybody's really different. I know a lot of guys who work so much harder than me, that are older, younger than me, this and that. Like, I don't want to make generalizations, but the point is to consider that overlap for your own life and how you can align towards that, and just get closer to that. You don't have to like, you don't have to drain it, but like whatever you really want to do, you're the professor in your life. You're the person who's gonna figure it out. No one's gonna come save you, so you might as well like figure out what you love, or at least try doing what you love. Try to get paid for something relative to that, at least close to that vision. You might not know what the vision is, but you probably know what you absolutely don't want So if you can figure that out, figure out what you absolutely don't want, and then draw an arrow on the opposite side of that. Be like, okay, somewhere in this direction is probably what I want. I'm gonna kill the habits, the commitments, and the things that are kind of just pulling me into a life that I know I'm gonna hate, but a life that I am hating maybe right now. Like, that's porn for me, bro. It's like porn literally just pulls me into a life that I absolutely hate. Period. Like, sorry. That's just what it is. And like, I can just be honest with myself about that because I've experienced it in the last week. And I just know that just makes me feel empty inside, and it increases the void, and it increases the distance between me and the version I really want to be. And I feel myself drifting this way, and I'm like, and then I like start to hate and judge on myself when that's not what God wants you to do. That's what the enemy wants you to do, is to backslide, hate yourself, judge yourself, bring yourself so low that your esteem is so far from the vision that you want for your life that you just expect nothing from yourself and you just keep doing nothing about it. That's not what you're called to do. So don't go that way, please. Anyway, that was a long rant, but I truly believe that God is calling you to more, whether or not you're like religious or you believe in God, you believe in the universe. Like, there is this higher calling. There is that vision, there's that highest version of yourself that you were designed to be, that you know you're designed to be. And our job is to align towards that. So hopefully these 4 things helped you get closer to that. Those are just some random lessons from my life. I got like a whole 20 lessons from 2024. Maybe I'll call it 24 lessons just to make it cute. I don't really like to be cheesy like that, but whatever. Anyways, I hope this served you. Go share with your friends. Hit subscribe, please. It really helps because this channel is... I want to grow this thing, and I love doing this. So if this serves you, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Righteous Grind. Peace. Let's go get this. Okay, actually, it's time to get this lift. So I'm gonna peace out. Go unlock the inertia. Get to work. Get the chain reaction of growth. Get the realm of possibility. Activate the quiet eye effect, and control your mind, because you gotta guard the path. All right, I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Righteous Grind. Bam. Gotta go crush this lift. Yes.